Good afternoon, Rattlers. I said, good afternoon, Rattlers. Welcome to today's and our first of this season, Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club Luncheon, where we fully support Florida A&M University athletics with our time and services and our financial contributions. I'd like to thank all of you here at the Old West Enrichment Center for joining us today with your presence and your financial contributions in support of Florida A&M University athletics. I'd also like to welcome our Albany State University alumni and fans for coming and joining us today. Just as importantly, I want to thank all of you watching and contributing online. Your presence and your input are equally important to the success of our mission. And we ask you to please contribute $15 through Cash App and to submit questions through our online chat. I'd like to let you know that the Cash App is $220 QB Club. That's $220 QB Club. All right, before we introduce our honored guest, which is Albany State head football coach David Bowser and Florida A&M University head football coach Quinn Gray, we'd like to always start off our meeting with a joke. Freshly off an injured reserve list, in-house comedian Leroy Jones will come on up. He's just recovering from the last joke he told.
Yeah, he was on the sideline. It's good that that's the laugh sometimes. That's what it's all about. But it was a little store out in the country, way out in the country. They had a parrot in it. And the parrot was talking. This lady came in. The parrot said, "Oh, you're so ugly." They looked at him again. He said, "Yeah, you're so ugly." When them ladies put their hands on their hip, the parrot was in trouble. The lady looked at him and said, "Look at you. Next time you call me ugly." She had her hands on her hip and she was looking. "Next time you call me ugly, I'm going to pull every feather out your body, starting with your tail." But she didn't put it that way. So about a couple of days later, she went to the cosmetic shop, got looking real good. She was looking real good. And she walked in there. In this shop, the parrot looked at her. She thought she was looking good. The parrot looked at her and turned around to us and stopped for her.
Now, you've been practicing that for about 3 months. Okay, I'd like to announce that we are now offering a 220 Quarterback Club lifetime membership. It's a one-time deal. It's really just to help the club out as far as getting a continued financial footing for us to continue to support Florida A&M University athletics. It's payable by cash, check. Checks have to be made out to the Eddie Jackson 220 Quarterback Club. Available through Cash App, which again is $220 QB Club. And also, it can be made out, it can be paid through Zelle, which is 220qbclub@gmail.com. So we just ask you to please just consider that. We've actually had some already come in, and just want to let you know about that. Again, we're asking the people who are watching online, you would be so kind as to contribute $15 today through Cash App. At this time, we will bring up Coach David Bowser, who was named Albany State coach on Christmas Eve.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. Won't be in front of you very long because I can see right now. I'll just go over there and talk to my table in a minute. Glad to be here. Very excited for next week. I know it's going to be an exciting time, and it's not, at this point, Coach and I are probably thinking the same thing. We replaying practice from this morning in our head, film, want to get meetings this afternoon and everything. But just the fact that people who are the heartbeat of our programs, we want to thank y'all for coming out and supporting, because you guys are a key part of the kids' success, whether they understand it or not, because y'all are the ones that pour back into the programs and keep us afloat from both ends. So I want to thank y'all for that. And just, it's a beautiful thing when your institutions can come together, the rivalries, whatever. At the end of the day, it's just about, we want to make sure these kids have a great experience, get a good education. So it's not a lot to be said, just looking forward to August the 29th, and we're going to continue to prepare. I know Coach and them are preparing as well, and we're going to give y'all a good game next Saturday. So thank you again for having us. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Officer Jennings, who protects me and takes care of me. And then back there is Addison Browder, who is our assistant SID, does a great job of promoting on the social media. So I think, Mr. Jennings, you supposed to come talk. No, I'm messing with you. But yeah, that's it. As y'all see, there you go. We're gonna take a few questions for Coach. What's up, Coach? How you doing, sir? I didn't mean not to shake your hand outside. I didn't know how I feel. No. You let it be known. You let it be known. He said, I don't shake blue hand. I said, okay. Yes, sir. Well, hey, I want to wish y'all good luck, but not too much good luck. Okay, thank you. Yeah, safe travel for you. I knew, that's why you wouldn't shake me. You were like, I'm gonna get on my. There you go. Good evening. Coach, got a quick question here. Yes, sir. After taking over as the head coach, and this is your first year, how much change have you made from Coach Gray's team? Well, what I'm saying, change in the sense of, will you be a running team, passing team? You went out and you had to go out and do some recruiting, so that's what I'm asking. Okay, so without telling you too much, we're gonna spread the court, try to shoot a lot of threes. We'll get back, okay, in transition, and whenever we get a chance, if it's late in the ball game, we'll foul early to get them to the free throw line, and that's kind of how we're gonna do it. Y'all set that up good together, Coach. You might have to get that 20 spot back, because I don't think, no. But no, all I'll say is, on a serious note, Coach laid a great foundation. And I've said this when I took over, is that when you come into a situation and culture-wise, it's been established, that allows you. And the young men who came back that stayed in the program, they did a very good job of taking the lead on things. Now, we did have to go in and make some replacements because of graduation. And then guys who were, when you have the success that they had last year, guys got opportunities to move on. Some came here. But the biggest thing was the foundation was already laid. And guys that you'll see next week who are probably going to be the main playmakers, they were young men that were doing good things for him that were being developed through the program. So it's good to go into a situation where success has already been there rather than going into a rebuild. I told somebody this wasn't like a rebuild or start from scratch type deal. This is one where you're trying to maintain to elevate. So if you ask me on a serious note, the foundation was already there. It was just a matter of us getting the pieces that need to be filled from the guys we lost. So that was pretty much it.
Coach, you got a question online, and that question is, how many players returned from last year's ASU team?
So it was 42 that returned, and one starter came back on offense, and then 2.5, I say, on defense, because Cam Watts this year, and he was an all-conference return guy, but he's right now starting at corner. So we had one come back on offense that started and 2.5 on defense.
How's it going, Corey?
Good, sir.
What do you figure some of the keys will be to enhance the rivalries that used to exist between the HBCUs?
Well, I think that's a great question, because one of the things that I look at is us playing this year and the fact that you played last year and you played, it almost would be great because of the distance to keep it. But, it's more based on what coaching them have to do, because with us, it's never bad to get an opportunity to have that one game where you can play up. But with scheduling now and the RPI and all these things that they got to go through, it's not necessarily always good for them to have to play a D2. So it would be more of how that works. But as far as the distance and ride in and being able to play every year, within the week 0 and things of that nature, it wouldn't be bad. And I think other schools would benefit from that. But then the other thing is, do you every year, just based on the scholarship numbers, the physicality and the way things are changing and all the levels, is it good and healthy for us to do this every year? You have to look at that and weigh it. But if I'm going to play at FCS school every year, this would be the one I'd want to play. But like I said, I can't speak for somebody else, so I don't want to overstep my bounds. But I just think it's not bad just from the location, the competitiveness, the rivalry that it has in certain ways. But, you have to look at so much else. The administration may see things differently, and that's what we live in now in our society now.
I want to bring up our CEO, Dr. Jackson. She has a presentation for you.
Hello, Rattlers and Rams. The Rams in the house. Right. Coach, we are so happy that you came down to be with us today and to show you our appreciation for your comment. So we first, we want to present you with a little token for your travel. Okay. We have a member on our board that says that who used to travel for the state of Florida. And he said that he's always been upset with the per diem that they pay. So he asked us to present you some extra. James Matthews, come up. Check that. All right. Come on anyway, we'll get the check later. The check's in the mail.
Well, Coach, we did want you to have some level of appreciation for coming down. We wanted to give something to the Albany State program, and they didn't prepare the check for me in the back. Okay. But we will be giving you a check, and it is the purchase These are called crying towels. Okay. Okay. We don't use them for crying towels, but we're gonna give you something to buy some for all the state for the giving. But thanks for coming, and we will get that prepared before you leave. Oh,
That's not the real one, but
okay. We're just gonna use this for the picture. This is for crying towels. After Coach Gray does his thing. Okay, we get you.
Stuff for you. Since to show you that we are good sports.
Yes, ma'am.
And we treat all of our opponents with utmost respect. So we are going to present you with the game ball for next Saturday. So don't you get too carried away. Notice there's a wrap on one end too.
So yeah.
No, that's not the show.
I want to see that.
And to prove that we are good sports, if you get the ball, we're gonna ask the referees to let you play with your little ball. When I told my daughter that joke, she said, "Well, I don't know, Mom, that may not work." But she said, they might have an advantage with the little ball. But anyway, thank you so much for coming again. Okay. All right. We want you, when you go back, tell all of the Golden Rams that when you all come on Saturday, to make certain that you wear tall boots, because there will be rattlers all over the ground waiting to ask. Take it away, Coach Glenn Green.
Thank you. I appreciate it. As always, it's a pleasure to be a coach. I don't know if you knew what you was walking into. It's part of it, man. These rattlers gonna be rattlers, man, and the Rams gonna be Rams. Because if I wouldn't expect nothing different, I was in Albany. You know what I mean? But I bring you greetings. It's always a pleasure to be in front of you all that support our program to the utmost. I'm excited about where we are as a program going into the season. We're 9 days away, right? We're 9 days away from kicking off the season. More so, I'm excited to see what these to the table, right? We definitely have some worthy young men that are worthy of your support, that are worthy of your giving, and definitely worthy of wearing the orange and green, because that's what it's been all about since training camp started. Trying to figure out who these young men are and what type of fight and grit that they had before we were allowed to be in Bragg Stadium to do anything, right? So for us, when I told you guys that we were going to take everything back to the pit before we had a chance to be in Bragg Stadium, that's what I meant. And we've been working tremendously hard over the last 2.5 weeks to find out who we are as a program moving forward. So I'm excited about what I've seen so far from all three phases of the game. I'm excited about where we're headed in the next week or so. And I can't wait to get this thing kicked off next weekend at 7 o'clock. I think you guys will be excited to see some of the product that we put on the field. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to do when it comes down to it because the season is a long season, and we're just starting this thing. And we got a lot of work to do, and we're going to continue to do that work and put the work in throughout the season. But I think our young men have stepped up to the challenge of what we've put in front of them as coaches. And I think that's the most important thing because we didn't make it easy for them. Right. There was we had our issues during camp from a disciplinary situation. And we've had to dismiss a couple guys because they didn't want to do what we asked them to do. And that's simple as that. And if you're not going to live up to the Rattler way, then you won't be a Rattler. So it is what it is in that juncture. But we're excited with the guys that we got moving forward. We've had a great camp. We're healthy for the most part, which is great. And we're looking forward to kicking this thing off next week. I'm excited to see my former employers and things of that magnitude. My former security, my guy, might have to put him in some orange and green next week. Sorry, coach. But at the end of the day, you know, we're excited to kick off against Albany State. It'll be a great event with the Ram rooters and all of the people that come and support Albany State. I know we'll have a great turnout with the orange and green on. It'll be my first time back in Bragg, and I'm looking forward to it. So I hope you're excited because we're excited, and we're excited to get this thing kicked off. All right. I'll take any questions you may have.
Coach, I got a question.
Yeah.
The president mentioned how much FAMU football improved academically over the spring and the summer. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I can't talk enough about that, to be honest with you. You know, everybody knows where we are from an academic APR standpoint. And to be quite honest with you, there's not a whole bunch of young men or coaches that have been here that had any effect on where we are from an APR standpoint. But what I am pleased to talk about is the work that these young men have put in since the spring. We were somewhere around a 2.8 as a program GPA, and we raised that to a 2.9 after spring. And after summer, our guys had a tremendous summer, right? We had over 85 guys in summer school. 33.6% of those guys had over 3.0s. 33.8% had 3.5s or better, and then 26% had 4.0s. So we're talking about some young men that did the thing this summer. So in numbers, you're talking about 31 guys having over 3.0s, 31 guys over 3.5s, and 23 guys that had over 4.0s this summer, which raised our cumulative GPA to a 3.2. So I'm excited about the work that our guys have done from an academic standpoint. I'm hoping that turns over and transitions into the work that they put on the field. Because I think we'll be a lot smarter in how we play because we got to be smart, fast, and physical when we play the game of football.
Morning, Coach.
Morning.
Without giving away too much, do we have any preseason candidates for All-American?
No, don't need them. Not preseason. We want them at the end of the season. No, unfortunately we don't. We didn't have any preseason all-conference, no preseason All-American candidates or anything, because all of that stuff is voted on by coaches in and around the conference, in and around the country. So we had two people's homecoming this year, so that'll tell you what the people thought about FAMU over the last year, right? So we're here to change that narrative.
Coach.
Yes, sir.
On the APR and all, have we hired any compliance people?
Yes. Reggie Thomas has been hired from the SWAC office, who has a tremendous amount of experience when it comes down to making sure that APR is in place and where it's supposed to be. He's done a tremendous job of making sure that, because I think the biggest issue was communication, to be honest with you, communication and just the overall support from a people standpoint. Just didn't have the people in the places to help the young men do what they needed to do. And I think our administration, President Johnson, has done a tremendous job of allowing athletics to hire the people that they needed to make sure that our young men, young women and men have what they need from a support standpoint academically. So I think we're moving in the right direction to not have this issue moving forward.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Not worried, but concerned about.
Yes.
Hiring people that will be here
Right.
to work in those capacities.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And I think we've done a good job over the last 4 months of putting people in those positions to make sure that we're successful.
Good afternoon, Rattlers. As an educator, I'm always concerned about how students are doing, so I am proud to hear the data that you just shared earlier. Are you familiar with the Servant Leaders podcast?
The Servant Leaders Pod? No, ma'am.
Yes, okay, so good. I just want to ask, and this could be for both coaches and any coaches, but specifically you, with all of the hype and the noise that goes on, you hear it in the stadium, we may even have noises in our homes. You're always pouring out into the players, the coaches, and every entity that you need to. My question is, when you have to pour out and into so much and so many people, what do you do to make sure you're poured into to ensure that you're giving all that you need to your players and coaches and everyone in your arena?
Well, for me, it's about my Lord and Savior. I go to my knees and make sure that I'm giving all the honor, because I wouldn't be able to do it without him. So I understand that. I know where my strength comes from. I know where my abilities come from. I know where my mindset comes from. On top of that, I got a wife at home that takes care of me too, right? So she does a tremendous job of making sure that the house is taken care of, and when I come home, it's home, right? And I'm able to sort of kind of turn that switch off when I get in my quarters and things of that magnitude. And then on top of that, in terms of people pouring into me, I have mentors and things like that I can call and run things by, and then friends as well that I can run things by, because sometimes it don't have anything to do with football. It has a lot more to do with life, right? And that's a lot of times that over the last month or the last 2 or 3 weeks, we make sure that every day each player or 2 or 3 or 4 get up and talk about their 5 H's. Right, hardships, heroes, their hometowns, things that they've have had history with, and then things that have really been good in their lives, right? And some of the things that I've been hearing it's been disturbing at times, because you don't know everything that these kids go through, right? And for us to try and make sure that we are available for these kids to meet them where they are is tremendous. And then if we can't meet them where they are, being able to provide someone or something that they can talk to or visit with that'll help them maneuver and deal with these things, because some of this stuff is real heavy that you hear, right? And that's with me not going in too deep with what we hear about our young men, but they have been through some things that some of us in this room have never even thought about going through, right? So with that, we try and meet them where they're at and make sure that while we're pouring into them, we understand the things that they're going through, and so we can help them, continue on the track of being successful on the college level.
We saw a picture of you and Coach Billy Joe. What were y'all talking about?
Football. So it's always great to go. We had the media day for the SWAC in Birmingham, and I couldn't pass through Birmingham without going to see my old coach, and because I'm excited to be in a seat where he sat, right? In his old, it's not my office, it's his old office, right? So to have the opportunity to go sit with Coach Billy was tremendous. Myself and Larry, my DFO, had a chance to go sit with him for a couple of hours while we were out there, and he's just as sharp as a tack. Yeah, he's just as sharp in terms of mentally as he wants to be. He's getting a little older, right, as we all are, but at the end of the day, his ability to talk ball and ability to talk just about life, history, because he's a history buff, we know that. But I'm excited to hopefully see him in the next couple of weeks as he hopefully comes down for the Hall of Fame and all that good stuff. But we talked about the Gulf Coast offense and all that good stuff, but I won't disrespect Coach Billy in terms of calling my offense the Gulf Coast offense. I will not do that. We'll run something close to that, but that won't be what I'll call it out of respect, because people call rack boys 2.9. That's a different situation. But at the end of the day, Coach Billy is doing very well, and I'm happy that he's still around.
Question, Coach.
Yes, sir.
This new 5-year rule.
Yes, sir.
Kind of explain that to us a little bit. And is it true that Nayron may be coming back as a result of that?
No, it's not true that Nayron may be coming back. It's true that Nayron is back. The 5-year rule, just to put it simply, the 5-year rule tells us that you have 5 years now to play 5 years. There is no more 5 years to play 4 with like red shirt and all that good stuff. There's with the advent of the portal and all this transferring, there was a lot of waivers and all that good stuff. So the NCAA came up with this this new rule about, okay, we're going to do away with red shirting. We're going to do away with waivers, right? So what they did was by June 31st, if there was a waiver that you were trying to get, it had to be done by June 31st because waivers are going out of the door. So there is no more waivers to fight for an extra year. There is no more waivers to fight for whatever, right? So now the NCAA is saying you got 5 years to play 5. So if you're a college student now, it ain't no more 4 years of eligibility, it's 5, right? So you got 5 years to play 5. And simply put, you have, whenever you step foot on campus, that's when your clock starts. Now, if you're not 19 and you don't go to school, your clock won't start until you A, step foot on campus, or B, turn 19. You got what I'm saying? So if you're 18 coming out of high school and you decide not to go, if you turn 19 within that next school year, your clock is starting, right? And that's when your 5-year clock starts. You got 5 years from that time your clock starts to finish your college career. All right, so if you start in 2025, you got till 2030 to play college ball. I think they're just really, really, truly trying to get rid of these 27, 28-year-olds playing with 18-year-olds, getting 7 and 8 years of eligibility, right? So I think that's really mainly the reason why this rule has come about. Yeah.
How you doing, Coach? Good to see you again. We know that if you're cut, you bleed orange and green.
No question.
And the reality that we face this year is that we don't have any postseason play. Other than Rattler pride, what have you put out there for your players to get to the point they bleed orange and green, other than Rattler pride?
Well, you know, to help our young men understand what it means to be a Rattler, you know, there's several things that we implemented. Every meeting that we have, we start with a scripture and a prayer first. There's not a meeting that we don't start without giving honor to the man above. Secondly, we start our meetings with history lesson, right? Understanding who are the people that came before them and laid the foundation for all of us to wear the orange and green. And then after that, what we've done with some of the Restore the Strike tour, Restore the Strike fundraiser money, is we put things up in and around the field house to help them understand the history of our prestigious institution. Our chant that we say in practice is above our door that we walk into every day. I know Vaughn referenced it on Facebook the other day, but just to help these young men understand what it is and what it means to truly be a Rattler. Because what they know is practicing in Bragg Stadium every day. I don't know that. We had to earn the right to go in Bragg Stadium, right? So for us, it's back to the basics. You back on the pit until you earn the right to walk up that hill and go in Bragg, right? So for us, it's making sure and just making them realize that the people that come before them laid the groundwork for them to be where they are and to wear the orange and green, and that what they do, they got to take pride in that name that's on the front of their chest, and not only have pride in the name that's on the back, but more so pride for the name on front of the chest that they're representing each and every day.
Coach, that was the last question, but Dr. Jackson, I wasn't over by. Can I do this one question from online, and this will be the last question. How is your team preparing to play your former team, and then for the few players that came with you, how has their mentality been about that first game?
We hadn't really talked about it, to be honest with you. We've been more focused on making sure that we're getting ourselves prepared for the season. I'm sure we'll get more into the camaraderie and the back talk and all that good stuff this upcoming week. But for the most part, we've been locked in on FAMU and getting ourselves ready for the season. Because at the end of the day, we still were trying to find our identity and who we're going to be. And, at the end of the day, we had some things we had to work on instead of focusing solely on an opponent. Now, as it relates to now, going into Thursday, Friday of this week, we'll start transitioning into Albany State. Coach, you want to send me some film? You can do that, right? It's an uncommon opponent, right? Yeah. You got people. Just to be completely honest with you, we've never played him as a head coach or his coordinators as coordinators. So there's some things that we don't know that we're going to have to find out on game day, right? And the biggest thing for him, he got all our film, right, from last year. He knows who we are, but at the end of the day, you got to line up and stop it, right? So, but the biggest thing, man, I think, with the guys that are still there, the guys that came with us, I think it's just going to be a great time. It'll be, a fun time to see those guys, and I'm sure they'll have some banter back and forth throughout the week. But for the most part, we're looking forward to just having a great game.
All right, we just got a couple more things. I ask you to just be patient with us. First of all, I want to bring Coach back up. Okay. I think you want this one. Okay. All right, so we taking care of things?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Real deal, this gentleman.
We're going to turn around that way. Somebody's going to be trying to read it.
Yeah. Okay, we have a valued guest coach in the house, Coach Bridget Gordon. Women's basketball. Actually, she will come up for just a second, just to say hello. While she's coming up, we want to ask you to please visit our vendor, which is Real World, in the back. Please visit our vendor. We also have we have 3 polo shirts still available back here at the table. We have a female black extra large, a female orange large, and a male orange extra large.
Good afternoon, everybody. Since Coach want to talk basketball, I'll talk football. But it's great to be in the house. I was just coming up here to support Coach Quinn. I'm very, very excited about football. I'm an avid football fan. I'm excited about all season 2. Young ladies get back to practice on the 24th. But I'm just here to support. We got plenty of time for basketball. I'm ready for some football. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for some football. I'm ready for the cannon to go off in Bryant Stadium, and I'm just here to support Coach Quinn. So thank you for having me up just to say hello. And most important, what Coach Quinn said, you have to support our student athletes. You have no idea what they deal with, what they go through, what they've been through, where they come from. And we have to deal with that on a daily basis. So be careful what you say about student athletes. Coach, take that personal. Yeah. See, I'll fight you for mine because you have no idea what they're going through. So just be mindful when you in the stand cheering. Be careful what you say because people can hear what you're saying around you that goes back to the student athlete that can affect them in ways that you might not know. So when you're going to cheer, let's be cheerful in the right ways and encourage them. And if Coach, I call him Heisman, if Coach Ward was here, he'll say, just pray for my student athletes. So just pray for them. But anyway, let's just pray that we have a great season. As Coach said, a healthy season. I'm sorry, Coach, but we're going to kick butt. I'm going to say it for him. We're going to kick butt on Saturday, and we just going to have a great season. Coach already said they're going to upset a lot of people. I'm mad that 2 people want to host us on homecoming. I want Coach to put me on the staff. But anyway, thank you. Y'all have a good day.
All right, one last thing. I want to let you know that we still have 2 tickets left. Okay, we have 2 tickets left for the kickoff luncheon. You can see Wilma or Al at the table back there too. All right, with that brings me to Dr. Jackson.
Before you go, I want to recognize some very special people in the house. My Albany State Ram friends and my sorors who came out. Stand up, Albany State. We're so happy that you all are here with us today. And we were talking about inviting the coach, and somebody said, are there any Albany State people in town? And I said, well, I know there's some in my chapter, but I can't remember who they are. But then when the day came out, I go, oh, okay, all right. So we're so happy that you all took time to come out and be with us today, okay? So that's it for me. Okay.
And before we close, one last thing. Want to remind you that real world, the first game, the color is supposed to be gray. And real world, make sure they brought them gray shirts for everybody. If you're not outfitted with gray, please go back there and visit them, okay? All right.
Booster luncheon. The luncheon for the weekend. Booster luncheon. The booster luncheon. Talk about the booster luncheon for Saturday.
Okay. Just a reminder, again, we have tickets for the booster luncheon. We have 2 seats for the tickets for the booster luncheon in the back. The booster luncheon is on August 22nd at 2:00 in the Lawson Center.
And I still have people.
And the fan? And Fan Day. I'm sorry, and Fan Day. All right, we'll see everybody next Wednesday.